Today, I will teach you all Excel count functions using one simple data set. And by the end of this video, you will never confuse them again. Welcome to Excelling, where we learn Excel the smart way. Come in. Let's start with the most misunderstood one, count. Count only counts numbers, not names, not text, only numeric value. So let's see a practical example. Now we have this employee data where we have our employee ID, name, department, salary, and bonuses. And management asks us to find total numbers of employee in this data set. So in order for us to achieve it, we use the count function. So we select here equals to count, and we press a tab. Our value, we are taking it from the employee ID. We close and we press enter. We have 5. It tells us that we have 5 employees, but if you take a look at the table, there are more than 5 employees. So there is a problem, which tells you that the count only take items that are numeric value. Let's see something here. Now we want to find the total numbers of employees using the department. So we say equals to count, and we use the department. Close and we press enter. So what happens? You see it returns 0. So in that light, it tells you that the count functions only work with numeric value, not string or text value. Now we come to our next section, which is the count A function. Count A functions count all values other than blank. If it's blank, it does not count it. So let's see how we go about this. So here we need to find total numbers by names and also by department. So let's see here, count. We're using the count A, and we want to count based on names. Close and we press enter. It's return 6. And if we come to departments, say count A again, then we select and we press enter. It returns 5. Why? Because we are having a blank cell here. And key point, count A also include space. If you include space in your cell, it will count it. Let's take an example here. If I include space here and then I press enter, see what we have now, 6. Even though this shows us blank, but it's still included because of the space value. We need to understand that. Okay. Now we come to the next one, count blank. We say we want to see all the blanks cell in our data set, and this is very important for data cleaning. So let's see how we can achieve this. We say this equals to count blank, and our range is by employee ID. So we select the employee ID and we close and press enter. So if you can see here, we have only one blank from our employee ID column. If we come to department, equals to count blank, our range from the department here, we should also expect 1. But here what happened is 0. Okay, now let's see. The reason why we have here 0 is because this cell here, we are seeing it's blank, but it's not blank. Remember, it has space. So in order for us to achieve that, we double tap there and backspace and then press enter. So you see instant, this has reduced to 5 and the number of blank has come now to 1. So this is how we go about the count blank function. Let's go again to the next function. We'll be looking at count if function. Now this holds only one condition. If you have one condition, you need to use the count if function. And how to go about it? Now we want to find numbers of employee present. So we say here equals to count if, and our range here, we are talking about present, so we need to focus on the status. So we select our status here and the criteria is what is present. So we open brackets, we type it, and then we close and press enter. So we have 4. So let's check again how many are absent. Equals to count if our range here is this, comma, but now we type absence. Mind you, the spelling must be accurate. So now on the absent section we have 2. So this is how we go about the count if function. Now let's go to the last functions here. We're talking about count ifs function. Now under the count ifs functions, when we have multiple criteria, we use the count ifs function. If we have one criteria, we go for the count if, but more than one, we can go for the count ifs function. Now we have the sales data here, we have the order ID, we have the sales rep, we have the region, we have the amount, and we have the status. So we want to see total number of sales made by John in this region. So in order for us to achieve this, we have 2 conditions here. One, we have region and also salesperson. So in order for us to achieve this, we say equals to, we use the count ifs function. So we say count ifs with the s. And our criteria range, our first criteria is the salesperson or sales rep. So we select it and press F4, and our criteria here is John, but we want to make this dynamic. Remember in our last class we talked about cell reference. You can check the video on my channel. So in order for us to hold this here, we want the column to be absolute but the row to be relative. So column, comma, and for the criteria range 2, we are talking about the region. So we select again the region, F4, comma, and the criteria now is what is. Here we start with this, and we also want to make it dynamic, so we use cell reference. In this situation now, we want to hold the row and leave the column, so we can close and press enter. So we can drag our formulas now. So you see, John in the East region made 3 sales, West is Mary, and North is Fatimata from this table. Now let's take example 2 from our count ifs function. So we want to see our sales status, how many are completed and how many are pending. So say this equals to count ifs, and our criteria is the sales rep. Criteria range is sales rep, and our criteria is this. Mind you, we need to hold it constant by holding the column fixed. And our next is the status. Mind you, we need to come to the status now, because that's the place we have completed and pending. We hold it again constant, and next is the criteria, which is this. Mind you, we need to hold the row and leave the column. So with this, we have this amount, and we can see from John, from the 3 sales that he made, 2 are complete, 1 is pending. For Mary, she made 2 sales, 1 is complete, 1 is pending. And for Fatimata, she only made 1 sales, which complete. So this is how we wrap up this session. If this video helped you understand count functions clearly, like the video and subscribe to excelling. Until then, keep excelling smarter, not harder. Goodbye.